What's up, guys? This is Alex from Alex Pro Mix. In this video, I want to highlight some awesome plugins that are very easy to use and are really, really affordable. What am I talking about? WA Production. WA Production is a software company that offers DAW templates, mixing courses, and audio effects such as virtual instruments and mixing plugins. In this video, we're going to take a selection of their plugins and we're going to create an awesome mix. Let's jump right in. Okay, here, so I have a basic mix session with drums, bass, some guitars, keys, pads, and vocals. Let's go ahead and check out this track. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and start with the lead voice. This is the lead vocal track right here. Like a wildfire. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to use a vocal shaper. So what is Vocal Shaper? As the name suggests, Vocal Shaper is a vocal processing toolkit plugin with advanced features such as a mud removal, unique sibilance processing, tone frequency adjustment, compression, leveling, and a couple more other features. Let's go ahead and reset the settings. So for that, I'm going to go into Reset All, click Load. There we go. So the plugin on is not going to sound any different than when it's off. Like a wildfire. Okay, cool. So the first thing I want to draw attention to is the signal flow. And that basically starts here in the leveler, cleaner, compressor. Then it goes into D-Mud, module, air, S volume, which is not a de-esser. Then it goes into the tone, which is a type of vocal mastering EQ. These are very broad shapes. It's not like surgical EQ. And then enhance with heat, which is saturation, depth, spread, and then your output. It's also worth noting that it has a built-in limiter just to catch any peaks in case the volume is too high. And it has an auto gain compensation, which we'll get into at the very end. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to level out or write out the level of my voice. And that's very important before you feed your vocals to a compressor, because if your voice is too loud and too soft in certain parts, the compressor is only going to react when the vocal is loud. So by using the leveler, it evens out the dynamics of the vocals before you hit the compressor. Let's go ahead and do that now. Like a wildfire, so many colors, but not enough. And that's real important to level out the S's, to level out the consonants, and basically the notes and the tones that the vocal is singing. Okay, cleaner cleans up any unwanted noises. Like a wild. And let's adjust the compression. Here we go. Like a wildfire, so many colors, but not enough to picture your smile. Make it now. There's an auto gain compensation module, but we're not going to apply that right now. We'll apply it at the very end. D-Mud, typically what happens whenever you compress your vocals is that it brings up the low level information. That could be like low frequencies, that could be consonants. So what D-Mud does is that it eliminates and controls those low mid frequencies that are apparent and even louder whenever you compress your voice. Like a wildfire, so many colors. That's too much. Like a wildfire, so many colors, but... Okay, I think I like that. So what I'll do is I'll click Auto Gain Compensation, and it's going to level match the input and the output. Like a wildfire, so many colors, but not enough to picture your smile. Make it never fade. I think that's nice, actually, because it's not completely changing the voice, but it's smoothing out those harsh parts, those loud parts. It's also demudding it. Now I can take a step further and start applying EQ and air if I want to. All right, so what else is good with WA Production plugins? Well, the other one that drew my attention was this one right here, and I'm going to put it on the drums. This one is called Beat Quake, okay? Beat Quake is meant to completely transform your drums if you want to. I like to use it very subtly. You have 4 ways to enhance the drums in addition to the color. So what you do is you go to the small slider, like by tone, enhance, lo-fi, and shape. So let's hear each one of them. So right away, you get 4 different flavors, and you can identify very quickly that you can transform your drums if you want to. In this case, I just want to enhance them a little bit. I don't want to completely transform them. You also have the color down below, which is shock, rift, tremor, and fall. Let's hear those, and that's going to be displayed by this big knob right here. And a combination that I found that works good for this track is tone and fault. But a little bit goes a long way. Another thing that I want to caution for is that if you're getting too much low end or too much high end, you can use the filter cuts here, right here, low cut and high cut. I like that. Let's hear that in the track. You can adjust the input and output volume trims here, or you can click AGC and it will level match it for you. Let's go ahead and hear that with the rest of the mix. Yeah, that's cool. So the tone allows the transients of the snare and the hi-hat to come out a little bit more clearer. And by increasing the fault color, you're able to get a little bit more saturation and crunch on the kick and snare. All right, let's go ahead and close that up. There's another plugin which is called Put Me on Drums, but I don't want to use it on the drums. And the reason for that is because you do have presets here that suggest synth, bass, and other types of instruments, okay? So what I found this useful on was on the bass track, believe it or not. So on the bass track, this is what the bass track sounds like originally. Okay, and let's go ahead and put this on. And I found this really cool preset for synth, which is called Body. Now, there's a lot of parameters here. The one that's going to be more significant for you for being able to compare before and after is going to be the mix knob, because you can apply high-low, you can apply punch, you can apply the length of the subtail, you can apply EQ, and then with the mix knob, you can blend in those changes with the original. That's nice. Watch out for any level jumps, so we'll bring the gain down. Let's hear that with the drums. You can hear the buzz and the saturation, but in the track, it's not going to be so noticeable. I like that. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and compare what we've done before the plugins and after the plugins. So what I'll do is I will select bass, drums, and vocals. And let's go to the verse. And when you see these plugins in a dark blue, that means that they're bypassed. When they're in light gray, that means that they're activated. Here we go. Just wait. Oh, I can be your love, your sunlight. So keep your eyes on me, on me. Cool. Let's go ahead and jump to the backing vocals. I'm using Vocal Shaper, which is what you can hear before and after. Using the air module just brings all that clarity and nice warmth on the voice. Next up, Spectron. Spectron is a type of spectral diffusion delay with some creative results. I really enjoy this one. So let me turn the wet up. You can set the delay to be at the tempo of the BPM of the song. So in this case, we have a quarter note delay. This area increases the feedback. The diffuse basically introduces reverb to the tail of the delay. And then you can do some pitch shifting and basically modulation shifting here on the left. So let me go ahead and reset these settings. Okay, cool. Okay, let's increase the diffuse. Wow, that's just lovely. So you get this real nice tail of reverb to the delay. And next up, this is very creative, which is going to be the shift. That's cool. That is so cool because it adds modulation to the tail of the delay. And then you have spread, warp, and tone. Spread basically spreads the delay tails. But again, with all these plugins, a little bit goes a long way. So you want to be real careful not to be distracted in the mix. All right, so that's our backing vocals. And then up next is a very unique plugin, which is called Dyno Wide. Think of Dyno Wide as a multi-band widener, but it's also mono compatible. That means that you can really push it to the extremities of the plugin and not lose mono compatibility. Why is mono compatibility important? Well, because when your music streams on little Bluetooth speakers, more than likely they're going to be played in mono. And you don't want to lose any stereo material that sounds great on headphones or great in the car that's super wide. You don't want to lose any of that information when you play it back on Bluetooth speakers that play back in mono. So you have 3 crossovers. So you have lows, low mids, high mids, and then highs. You have the heat, which you guys saw on the vocal shaper. This gives you a nice saturation, and the depth also from the vocal shaper. You can isolate each one of these bands. You can adjust the slider, but let's go ahead and load up a preset. And one of my favorite presets here is going to be this one under vocals, which is called VG Vox Panned. Let's click load. And let's hear this before and after.
Tell you apart, I'll be praying for you, even on sunny days. So
yeah, it does some really interesting things here with the backing vocal, especially with the panning. So if I isolate, for example, the low mid band, you can hear what the depth is doing. Okay, let's bring those down. And then also pan, which is going to be really obvious. So pan allows you to off-center that band. So between 2K and 6.8 kilohertz, you can off-center that to left or to the right. Now you want to be careful with this. You want to be very subtle. Let's hear that with the original vocals.
Dance to the daisies or any flower, or stand there and I can't tell you apart. I'll be praying for you even on sunny days. So paint my world with your colors.
Now that's crazy because we're using Dyno Wide, but we haven't even increased the width function. This is simply by adjusting panning and adjusting a little bit of depth. So with anything else that I've shown you guys, a little bit goes a long way, but it gives you some amazing results on being able to pan instruments and vocals in the mix so that they have their own space. All right, let's jump ahead to Trivox. Trivox is a type of harmonizer. And I'm not going to use that on the lead voice, but I want to show you guys what it sounds like if I did.
Like a wildfire.
That's crazy, huh? So you have synthetic or organic.
Like a wildfire.
And then anywhere in between. And then you have the mix. So you can adjust the volume to voice 1, voice 2, voice 3, and then super unison. Now, I'm not going to use it on the vocals because I think the vocals need to be sounding organic, but I am using it on the lead guitar. And the lead guitar part happens 3 times in the song. It appears at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. So I figured, you know what, this guitar part, this guitar lead is a nice hook. It sounds good, but what if we added something colorful and some texture to it? So this is what it sounds like originally. Real cool lead, real cool melody. This is what it sounds like with Trivox. Much more interesting. Let's just adjust the wet as we hear it in the mix. Here we go. Real sick, real sick. All right, so we have quite a bit of plugins here inserted in the track. Let's go ahead and hear them before and after. So what I'll do is I will bypass them all. We'll play a little bit of the verse into the chorus, and then we'll bring the plugins in and out. Here we go. much clarity and texture that you get from the mix just by doing these small little adjustments across different channels. Now, before we sign off, I want to show you guys one more tool, which is called DRS or DRS. All right, we're going to put that on the mix bus. Something that happens, which is a phenomenon that happens in mixing, is the buildup of frequencies. It's inevitable. It can be any genre. Whether I'm working on piano and vocals or whether I'm working with a mix that has over 100 stems, it happens everywhere. And that's basically frequency buildup. So what DRS does is it helps you identify any frequency buildups or resonant frequencies in the mix so you can target those and that you can enhance your mix overall. By targeting those resonant frequencies and bringing them down, it gives you two benefits. Number one, you can bring the mix louder. And secondly, it's going to sound clearer. So let me show you how DRS works. All right, we've used this on the mix bus and I have a listen button, which allows me to solo the frequency that it's detecting. Here we go.
So paint my world with your colors.
There we go. There's a lot of resonant frequencies in this material that can appear. If you boost them, you're going to find it in any track. However, I'm listening for something that just continues to ring out, and that's somewhere around 2K. Then with this big knob, you can reduce in stereo. You can reduce in mid or side. Mid would be anything that's panned down center, any basically mono information, and then side, any side stereo information. But I'm going to use stereo, which is this right here, not mid side. All right. So I found my frequency. You can kind of see it here displayed.
So paint my world.
And it just continues to ring out. So that's the culprit. And I'll bring the dBs down. Here we go.
So paint my world with your colors.
Now that can work in both dynamic or static. If dynamic is off, that basically means that it's going to cut that frequency by 7 dB. But as you increase dynamic, that means that it's going to cut that frequency dynamically as it gets louder. Okay, so a little bit of dynamic does help. Octave will cut any harmonic frequencies related to that, which is around 2K.
So paint my world with your colors.
I like this. Let's hear it before and after.
So paint my world with your colors.
That sounds very nice. And then lastly, I like to use the Excite module, which basically makes everything in the mix sound a little bit more crispier.
So paint my world with your colors.
All right, cool. Let's hear everything before and after. So you guys are going to see this bypass before and then after. Here we go. And let's go from verse number 2. Let's check it out.
Let's lie in the sun for hours and hours till the day goes by. And though we might not be forever, just hold my hand anyways. Let's bloom in ways where we can touch the stars even though they're far. But if you wanna stay, then I'll stay with you.
All right, guys, that's all the time that we have for this video. But before you go, if you're interested to try out these plugins, they have a free trial available at waproduction.com. I'll leave a link on the video description below. Thanks again so much for watching. If this is your first time watching Alex Pro Mix, be sure to subscribe, like, and share. Leave your feedback in the comments below, and I'll see you again real soon. Peace!